Come on, Bitsy.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is Friday, the 23rd of August, 2024, nearly the end of August already. Can you believe it? We have a busy show today. We didn't have a show yesterday because we had two shows on Wednesday, and I was absolutely knackered yesterday. I think I slept till about 12, so there was no show yesterday, but I am back. I'm feeling a lot better. There's a lot to go through before we start the stream today, but just to cover things off, what we're going to talk about today, the usual markets and the X-Files, which we've not covered for a bit. Powell is speaking today, Bitcoin optimism, AVAX, what's happening there, Polygon, I've been telling you, Polygon, we're going to talk about India, and then we're going to talk about the Me token. What is the Me token? And then we're going to have a Q&A at the end if anybody has any questions. But I just want to recap. Last Wednesday, 2 days ago, we did our Kronos ZK night. Between all of the various different places, we had 10,500 people watching that stream. 10,500. That is probably down to the fact that we were giving away $100, $110. However, we still got 10,500. And the reason I'm telling you this is next Wednesday, let's make sure that the audio still works if I do this. It does indeed. Next Wednesday, let me move that off the screen. We have our Mew night next Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central European, 6 o'clock in the UK, and I think it's 5 o'clock UTC. We'll be doing it all over again, and we're giving away Mew. So that is next Wednesday. You had last Wednesday, and now you have this Wednesday coming. It's like buses. We don't do one for months on end. I think the last time we did one was it maybe the end of May, something like that. So we've not had one for a while, but it's been too hot. So we're going to do our Mew giveaway next Wednesday. So there is some opportunities to get double entries into the giveaway. That's it in our TG group, which you can find if you go look for it. But let's get on with the show. Good morning, Mags. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Hidden. And everybody else that is in chat. I think Gianni is here. Bullish is here. Good morning to you all. We have a poll question of the day, as we do most of the time. Are we going to break 62,500 today? Yes or no? Remember, we were at 58,000, I think, last stream I did, which was Wednesday. We've had a bit of a move. We've had a bit of a dance to the upside, but we are still under where I have said we will be under for a while. Divesh, good morning. Divesh was one of our winners on Wednesday night, and I hope he enjoys all of his gains. Now, bottom left-hand corner, fans, 157,000 now. We're aiming for 200,000 by the end of the year. It's going to be touch and go. We might have to stream 3 times a day to get there, but we will try and get to 200,000 fans by the end of the year. Oh, a new person. Well, we've got 2 Diveshes then. Good morning. So make sure to give us a follow. We stream every day, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. We have our evening trading stream tonight at 9 p.m. Brogan will be back tonight with his trading stream for about an hour, going through your charts, going through the charts that he wants to go through, the usual kind of thing. So, you found the channel on the homepage. Brilliant. Well, welcome, Divesh. Any questions you have, ask them in chat. We are always here to help, and we have a very nice community as well of people. So if you have any questions that I miss, I'm sure they will answer them for you. Now then, the title of the show today. Are you ready for this? Frivolatility. Frivolatility. That's the theme of the show today. The problem with today, and we're going to get onto it, is Chairman Powell is going to speak today, and the markets are just going to go mental. Today is not a day for you to be leverage trading, in my opinion. You could guess correctly, and you could long Bitcoin today, or long Ethereum, or whatever it might be. You could do that. But I don't know if that is going to really work. They might pump and then dump, or vice versa. They might dump and then pump. And we don't want you to be washed out of the market. So personally, I would be very careful today. And I say that normally on the Fed rates day, but this is a critical meeting, a critical interview with Chairman Powell. We're expecting a rate cut in September. Probably 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, there will be a rate cut. So be very careful today if you are trading. And I don't know which way the markets are going to go. They're probably going to go in both directions. We'll go through the Bitcoin chart in a minute and show you. Anyway, let's move on then. What's happening in the markets? 2.17 trillion. That's up a touch since we covered it. Volume, negligible. 60 billion in volume. Again, July and August are boring. The traders are away. The volumes are down July and August. It's just the way it is. Bitcoin dominance and ETH dominance coming in now at just below 71%. Now that hasn't broken below 71% for a while. Now, when Bitcoin and Ethereum dominance breaks down, it means the alts are outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum. But we'll have a look at that in a minute. So then, main gainers then, top gainers, Bitcoin 61.3, Ethereum 26.7, BNB 580, Solana 145, if that's correct, XRP still at 60 cents, and Toncoin is continuing its march up the charts. I am going to make a video today on dogs. Dogs is going live, as far as I'm aware, on the 25th, which is what, Sunday? So I'm going to, oh no, that's the TGE event on Sunday. So I am going to make a video about dogs today. I was going to make it at the start of the week. I basically ran out of time and I didn't really like the way you could claim it, so I didn't cover that. Now, Avalanche is up. We're going to cover that in a while. Again, you've got to love CoinMarketCap for not actually sorting. XRP price prediction, I don't think it's going to go any higher than $3 to $5. Maybe $5 if it does really well. Everybody's going to predict $100, $200, $69. It's not going to happen. Market cap would be too high. Core is up. ASI finally is moving. That's up to $1.08. Aptos, WorldCoin, Phantom, I'm not a fan of. That's up. Conflux, a few gainers, and not many losers. 1,000 sats, I think I reviewed in a video not long ago. I'm not overly impressed by it. Zcash is down. Clayton, Aave is down a touch. Again, not many losers, as you can see by having the stable coins down here. So it's been a bit of a green day. And what do we like on Fridays? We certainly like green days. Now, we have a fair old few X-Files to catch up on. Some slightly political, mostly to do with crypto. So let's go through them in a kind of semblance of order. Propaganda isn't just about creating fake news, it's also about hiding real news. Now, this isn't talking about any politician in particular. This is also to do with what happened with Charles and Cardano a few months ago. The issue is that the press can easily be swayed to say whatever they want about a project. And people with a lot of money can convince news periodicals to write articles about what they want. And they went after Cardano. And as we know, Cardano is one of my picks. I like the Cardano community. I think they're a little bit toxic towards other chains. However, that isn't anything to worry about. What the point of that is that Cardano is going through its next evolution, and they are trying to crush the price. That's the only thing I can see. They did the same thing with Solana. They did the same thing with CZ. We have been streaming on some of these platforms for about a year. And in that time, they have gone after CZ, they have gone after Solana, they have gone after Cardano, and they have gone after XRP. All of those coins have been gone after. But what I try and get across to you is the way these coins are targeted, it's specifically over a certain period of time. It's not a trending hit piece where it goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks. It goes on for a couple of weeks and then it stops. And that's why it's clear as day that a lot of the propaganda going around in crypto is sponsored propaganda. That's what I'm trying to get to. Now then, Tron. Again, I haven't made a video about this yet because I'm getting very wary of it. Now, I'm going to run you through sentiment. So Tron, as we've seen, has been on a pump. It's nearly at its all-time high. They have launched their own version of pump.fun, and it's generated 7,000 new coins. The token is up to 16.5 cents. The network activity is up. Meme coin popularity is up. Development and partnerships are being worked on. And of course, you have Justin Sun. Now, the one thing to bear in mind about Justin Sun, and again, I didn't include this because I didn't have enough time, but they withdrew 10,000 Bitcoin from their DAO in the last 24 hours, which I've got it here in German. Justin Sun has moved 12,000 Bitcoin worth $726 million that was backing the USDD stablecoin. Now, there are some things which worry me, and it could be that he's moving it to another location. He could be putting it somewhere safer. He could just be moving it for the hell of it. But when you have a stable coin like USDC or USDT, that is normally backed by US dollars. In this instance, it is backed by Bitcoin. And yes, Bitcoin is doing exceptionally well. But I'm very worried about Tron. And there's just something niggly at the back of my mind about it that I can't put my finger on. And it seems to have come out of nowhere. It seems to be overly hyped up. I'm getting the same feeling about Tron that I had about Celestia when that was pumping and pumping and pumping. And the same feeling I've got about Ton, which is just pumping and pumping and pumping. I don't think the market caps can sustain the project without there being an overheating of the price. Good morning, Peter. How is your shoulder? I hope you are well. How many more corrections do we need? We're probably going to have a few more next year. Tron has been here for a long time. Yes, I'm not denying that. I've had Tron for 5 or 6 years. I've held Tron. And my issue with Tron isn't the speed of the network at the cost. It just seems to have artificially high levels of trading and volume. That is it. So I think we're going to have a couple of more corrections next year, maybe 3 or 4 more corrections next year. But October, once we get to October, we should start to really pump. That's my prediction. Now then, this is what happens when you print money. So in 2000, which was 24 years ago, you were earning $32,000 a year. You're now earning $40,000 a year. So yes, you are now getting paid 20% more. Okay, but look at the cost of your house. It's gone from 166,000 to 406,000. Why? Because when there is inflation, people flock to assets which hold their value, and that would be your house. So if you say that your income was 32 and your house was 160, you should technically be earning $80,000. So your wages are half what they should be, whereas the house is now over double. It's up 250%. Look at the cost of a car. That has also gone up at a similar rate as the cost of your house. So when you have money, you put money into assets that go up at the rate of inflation or higher. When you don't have any money and you can't put your money into assets, you become poorer and poorer and poorer. Okay? So it's not a case of, oh, Bitcoin isn't pumping to $1 million. Bitcoin is holding its value. And that's the point of gold. That's the point of Bitcoin. That's the point of property investment. To some extent, that's the point of stocks and shares. If you can get your money into assets that can hold value as best they can against inflation, then you don't lose money. Unfortunately, for the majority of people who are trapped, they cannot earn their way out of the situation they're in. And that causes massive inequality. And to some extent, that is what Bitcoin is trying to solve. It's okay if things don't move for a couple of months, as my right shoulder, normal typing and writing arm is, it'll pump soon enough. Now Phantom, one of the wallets that we like on this channel, Phantom you can use with Ethereum, you can use with Polygon, you can use with Solana. It's now connecting up to Apple Pay, credit cards, debit cards, and bank transfers. So Phantom is making the right moves. The only feedback that we have seen from people within crypto is that the banks are blocking the transactions. So that's the next issue. And banks are literally scared to death of having a run on their accounts. Now then, this is a question that I answer probably every 3 to 6 months. Can Bitcoin be stopped? Now, this is only one of the reasons you could stop Bitcoin. To stop Bitcoin, every government in the world would have to successfully coordinate simultaneously to shut down the entire internet everywhere and then keep it off forever. Even in that improbable scenario, the Bitcoin network can be communicated over radio signals and mesh networks, which is never going to happen. We made a video about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, on the 5 threats to Bitcoin. One of them is a governmental threat, which we dismissed. Another one is an electromagnetic pulse, which would kill all of the not processors, transistors. Okay, but you turn things off, you turn them back on again, it would be back. Anything that's an existential threat to Bitcoin is an existential threat to life on this planet. Okay, if the electricity goes off for a period of 2 or 3 weeks, we are back in the Stone Age and it's over. So Bitcoin, to all intents and purposes, cannot be stopped, because if civilization is stopped, so is Bitcoin. And we won't need Bitcoin if civilization is stopped. But for anybody out there that says, well, if Kamala Harris wins the election, then it's over for Bitcoin. No, it isn't. America is not. Believe it or not, this might be a bit of a shock to the Americans watching out there. Bitcoin is not solely the property of the Americans. Now, you might have had a basket case in Joe Biden, you might have Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and depending on your persuasion, you might like one and not the other. Irrespective of that, Bitcoin is going to exist in 2 to 3 years' time. When you've got Harris or you've got Trump, we will still have Bitcoin. It's going to exist. The issue really is, how high is Bitcoin going to go? Because that's what you care about. How much money is your Bitcoin going to be worth? And that will change depending on the climate in America. Okay, yes, we have Africa, we have Europe, we have Asia, we have South America, we have lots of other continents in the world, but America is the noisiest, and that's why it tends to get most of the headlines. So let's move down to this. There we go. So just again, Bitcoin is going to be here in a year's time, no matter who's in power in America. Now then, I have been every once in a while keeping an eye on the political meme coins. And again, we don't promote you going and buying any of these, we just tell you. And I have said in the video when the attempt on Trump was made, if you can get Trump below $5, then you are onto a good run. And I think it came down to $2.80, $2.70. That's going to run between now and the end of the election. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to go to $50. It certainly isn't. But you could see a $10 or $12 Trump coin. And I don't hold any, and I'm not going to buy any. I'm just telling you what I see. There is a Biden coin, a Trump coin, a Harris coin. I think there's even a Robert Kennedy coin. The only one I've seen any real investment into has been Trump coin, which is MAGA. So for me, go and have a look at that. Again, I don't hold any, and I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, read the room. Trump and Harris are going head to head. The Harris coin is nowhere. Trump, in my opinion, is the one that you need to go and look at if you're going to buy a political meme coin. Certainly don't buy Biden. That's going to go nowhere. Or Obama, or anything like that. It's never going to go anywhere. Is this good news? Launching? It could be. It could be. Lots of futures contracts get launched. Mu, which is our stream sponsor, Mu had its futures launched last week, or it was announced last week, and it will be going live last week or this week. So futures are good on the whole, but they do cause price movements, if that makes sense. I can't mention the names for obvious reasons, but it does cause price movements. Now, what to expect from Jerome Powell's speech tomorrow, which it clearly is today. And again, we're not going to spend hours on these things. We have too much to get through. We've got 40 minutes to get through an awful lot of stuff. So Powell is going to speak at Jackson Hole, and that's apparently where the big shots gather. Central bankers from around the world fly into Wyoming, making it the most economically powerful stage on the planet. Powell's words will give a clear indication on inflation and interest rates. He warned last year taming inflation might hurt households and businesses. The S&P tanked 3.4%. Everybody is expecting him to hint at an interest rate cut. listen, there was some massive news that came out yesterday about unemployment figures, and it was frightening. Unemployment is raging in America, and some people are saying that they've fudged it. Some people are saying that they were lying, and now the truth has come out. But in terms of interest rate cuts, what you've got to understand is the way that Chairman Powell speaks is, and he talks about hurting households. So what are the three tenets of an economy? Inflation, how much is stuff going up by? How much is your house costing you? And can you get a job? He wants a situation, whether you like this or not, he wants a situation where you're finding it hard to get a job, where house prices are coming down, so you're losing value on your home. And he wants a situation where your goods are not going up in value at an exponential rate. That's what he wants. Now, have we got all of those three things? Yes, we had them last month, but he didn't do anything. I said July was the month, as did many people. July would have given him two opportunities to cut. Maybe July, maybe September, October. 2 rate cuts before the election. He's just sat on his hands. Now, he knows more than I do. I am not going to claim or profess to be anywhere near his level. But the point of the matter is, I think he is dragging it out as long as he can. Now, we know he's not going to commit. However, it's not what he says about the rate cut that's important today. It's the wording that he uses when he talks about the economy. If he starts to talk about the housing sector is cooling off, wage inflation is coming down, the cost of goods is stabilizing, if that's the terminology he's using today, then we're going to see a rate cut in September. Okay? Because if he doesn't, and this is the thing, if he doesn't, he is going to stall the economy and America is going to crash. Okay? There is a report, a very scary report that I read again yesterday about just how bad the American economy is. So bad that I'm not going to make a video about it. But what I'll tell you is this: there are less people working. There are less job openings. There is a higher number of older people in America, and the younger people coming in are not filling the job spaces, and it is a ticking time bomb. America is heading for a financial meltdown. Not today, not tomorrow, but it's getting to the end of its position. The dollar is ruined. The economy is on its last legs. And it's scary, but it's scary over the next 5 or 10 years. It's not scary today. What he has to do today is give people a warm feeling in their bellies that we're going to see a rate cut. And if we do that, we might see Bitcoin dominance top out. And that's when the alts will start to run. So we want to hear between the lines of what he says today. So odds of at least one federal rate cut by September the 18th are at 95%. So it's pretty much nailed on. Now, Bitcoin, this is what might happen. Lower interest rates usually mean more liquidity in the market and investors start chasing higher returns in riskier assets. So higher interest rates, risk off. Lower interest rates, more money, risk on. Simple. However, Bitcoin will pump, but it will also retrace. Okay? And alts will run. So going into next year, we should start to see alts start to outperform Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is at $75,000 in December, where's it going to top out next year? 150,000 for argument's sake. That's a 100% gain. If we're talking about 2 or 3 or 400% gains for alts, like, I don't know, XRP, Solana, AVAX, Cardano, whatever you want to call them, then they're clearly going to outperform Bitcoin over the next 12 months. So the tipping point is, when does Bitcoin dominance top out, and when should you start to think about buying alts and not buying Bitcoin? And we're approaching it. We're not there yet. As I said on Wednesday, you've got 6 weeks left. 6 weeks. Okay, when October starts, we could be running Okay. The idea is simple. If traditional currencies lose value due to inflation, Bitcoin, being decentralized and finite, could hold or even increase in value. We know about this. Remember what the very simple calculation is. Infinity divided by 21 million. That's it. Infinity is the amount of fiat that can be printed. In theory, tomorrow, Joe Biden could print $50 trillion if he wanted to. Okay? He could print $500 trillion tomorrow if he wanted to. What he can't do is print Bitcoin. So Bitcoin should always be compared to your currency. Can the euro be printed? Yes. Can the pound be printed? Yes. Can every single sovereign currency in the world be printed? Yes. So everything is divided by 21 million. That's the simple tattoo that you have is infinity over 21 million. Bitcoin will hold value and increase in value, not just because people want to buy it and hold it, but the simple fact is everything around it is depreciating in value. The dollar, the Australian dollar, the euro, the pound, it's all depreciating because inflation eats away at your money. If inflation is 2.5%, you times 2.5% by 40. What's that? It's 100%. So in 40 years' time, your money will be worthless that you have today. Now, your wages will go up, yes. The value of your house will go up, yes. And gold and silver and maybe oil and all of those things will hold the value. But if you have $10,000 today, it will be worth nothing in 40 years' time. So if you're a 20-year-old and you're thinking, right, I'm going to retire at 60 and I've got $1 million put to one side, it's going to be worth nothing in 40 years' time. And your job is to find somewhere to put that $1 million to keep it from losing value against your local currency. And that can be anything. Rupee, as I said, pound, euro, anything. They just print money. Now then, let's go and very quickly have a look at the Bitcoin chart. And again, I'm very sorry to do this, but I'm going to sound like a stuck record. Because once you see the lines, you will know why. There we go. Let's bring that open. There we go. Okay. Let's move this way. Okay. And for some reason, my version of TradingView is running like a dog. Okay, here we go. Do you see the white line? That white line is the bottom of the bull market support band. It is also the top of the little kind. Well, sorry, it's not the top. We're in a range, which is up here to down here. Okay. Hang on 1 second, just to show you where we are. We haven't moved, and I'm not excited by this so far. So you might be excited. I am not. Okay. For us to get excited, and we like to be excited, we need to get above $64,000. What have we done? We have broken below, we have bounced, we have come down, we have bounced off, we have come down to the bottom, we have come up and touched this area here, and we haven't broken it. If Chairman Powell comes out today and he's in a bad mood, you know what's going to happen. We are going to come down here over the next few days to $56,000. Okay? I said on Wednesday, I don't see the spark that pushes us higher. Okay? And yes, we're at 61.3 and you're all happy. But let's just, again, just a reminder to zoom out and see where we are. We are in the same range that we have been in forever. Okay? This is the definition of insanity. Going over the same thing, rattling away now because we're stuck, because the bull market support band is arcing down. We have a range between 56 and 61.5 that we're stuck in. What do we have to do? In my humble and very inexperienced and very uneducated opinion, we need to do that. Come up above 64, bounce off 64 and go up. Every single time if we zoom in a little bit more again, every single time we have broken above the bull market support band, we have not closed. We haven't closed. We could go to 62,500 today. Okay, we could go straight there today. Chairman Powell comes out and goes, right, lads, I've cracked it. We're all good. September rate cuts. Let's go. High fives all around. Crack open the beers. Okay. And Bitcoin goes, hallelujah. Okay. Now, if we don't close above that line or above this line, it's just going to come straight back down again. And as I've said, frivolatility is the name of the game today. Frivolatility. Frivolity, we want Chairman Powell to be happy. We want him to come out, maybe have a little party hat on, maybe a little one of those things, right? That's what we want. Maybe some balloons, maybe some congratulations, 2%, whatever. That's what we want. But with that comes volatility. So today we could do this, okay? And be back at the same price we are at now, 61.3. If we don't break this line, we're going nowhere. And I know we are better off than we were. What is the date today? The 23rd. So last Friday, we came as low as 57,000. So we've moved $4,000 in the right direction. Yes, I get that. But look at the line that won't break. And again, that pink line that's there, that's when I think we're going to rip. 5th of October, start of October, I think we're going to rip. So what could happen? I think we could do this for the next 6 weeks. Okay? I'm going to leave that there, but that's what I think is going to happen. Don't get excited. Now, if we're at $62,500, $63,000 and we close there tonight, okay, it's game on. Okay, I can't predict the future. I'm just telling you based on what's been happening where I think we're going to go, and that's nowhere. Now, I am going to give you some good news because it's a Friday. We don't want to be Debbie Downers on a Friday. Bitcoin eyes all-time high as economic tailwinds fuel market optimism. Now, why is this so messed up? Let's make it a bit smaller. Bitcoin is set to reach new highs with strong economic tailwinds, but job market weakness threatens to overshadow the potential rally. And there we go. There's a little robot that appears to have some kind of stickers on, pointing at a Bitcoin logo to a man in a suit that looks like he's going to go and throw a ring into the fires of Mount Doom. Don't know why he would wear a suit in that condition. So we hit the $74,000 mark in March. We've done absolutely nothing since. So why are we going to rise? And what time is it, by the way? 11:34. We probably need to get a move on. Bitcoin market has been characterized by volatility. It's not been volatile. We've seen the chart. We're stuck in a range. We've been in a range since March, okay? March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 months we've been in this range. 6 months of me telling you we're not going up, but we're not going down. A key indicator is the M2 money supply, which refers to a broad measure of money in circulation, including cash. Marty Party. That's as bad as Dave the Wave. Highlighted that the combined M2 money supply on the US, EU, Japan and China has reached 80.75 trillion and continues to rise. The money supply increases by economic growth and central bank printing. Whenever anybody tells you the reason for inflation is Eastern Europe, the reason for inflation is oil, the reason for inflation is Taiwan and the issues down there. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. The single reason that you have inflation is your government printing your money. That is the sole reason. 95% of the reason that your money is worth less this year than it was in 2020 is your government printing money. Everything they tell you. Do you remember we talked about propaganda at the start of the show? Propaganda is hiding the truth. And the truth is inflation devalues your currency. If a loaf of bread was $1 a year ago and it's $1.10 today, the inflation to your pocket is 10%, irrespective of what they tell you. Okay? And we've seen it here. I'll give you an example. Salmon. was £12 for a pack. It's now £8. So our inflation on salmon is down 33%. But our loaf of bread has gone from £1.50 to £3. So that's 100%. So your budget, your bills, your energy bills, they are all based on your own version of inflation. And if you compare your inflation to what they are telling you, you will find a massive difference. So money printing is the reason that we see more money in the market. And that to some extent is why Bitcoin will go up. Because when interest rates come down, the money printer will turn back on. And when the money printer turns back on and puts more money into the economies, Bitcoin will pump. Remember what we said about the Fed when we had the Bank of Japan crisis? They were putting, was it $30 billion a day into the economy. That's come from where? That's been printed, okay? So the money is coming in. Interest rates need to come down. Are we going to see a recession? Possibly not. Possibly not. But we can't count it out. It might happen. A weakening job market raises concerns about a potential recession. Recessions typically lead to reduced consumer spending and investment, which can negatively impact asset prices and pose challenges to market sentiment and investor confidence. And remember one thing, if we didn't have lockdown, if we didn't have the money printer print 30% of the circulating supply over a very short period of time, we wouldn't have had the 30% inflation that we've seen over the last 2 years. Printing money and paying you to stay at home devalued all of the money that you had by 30%. And nobody should ever forget that. And nobody should allow their governments to ever forget that. You are poorer today because of what they did 3 years ago. And if a recession is coming, that recession falls squarely on their shoulders. They have nobody else to blame. Okay? And it doesn't matter whether you agree with the lockdown or not, that's irrelevant. The fact it happened and the fact they printed money to get out of it is the reason everybody in the world is so much poorer apart from the rich people. Grayscale Avalanche Trust launch triggers the AVAX rally, $31 ahead. Again, we are big and happy. Good morning, Tariq. You haven't actually missed much of the stream. You've only missed 2 articles. So, yes, and I'd like you to try and pronounce in your head what I have written on the screen there. That's the challenge of the day. So Grayscale Avalanche Trust has launches. What's this about? So Grayscale, over the last few weeks, I think has been picking the coins it thinks are going to have an incredible bull run. Okay? I think somebody in Telegram mentioned it. They had 2 other coins of the day, and potentially they are correct. I think Grayscale is picking what it thinks to be the winners. But let me just point one thing out to you. So if we go to Grayscale, for example, Grayscale today values Solana at $405. That's where they think that Solana is valued. Okay, so what they're saying is not gospel. Just because they have a fancy website and a fancy name doesn't mean they're right. And the reason is, we can go down here and we can look at some of their products that they've done in the past. So my counter argument to Grayscale are picking the winners of the next bull run are thus. They have a Bitcoin Cash Trust, a basic attention token trust. Okay. They have a Decentraland trust. Okay. They have, let's think of a Filecoin, a Litecoin, a LivePeer trust. Okay. Not all of these coins have done exceptionally well, have they? No, they haven't. Zcash, Sui is a new one. Now, again, I don't want to go and start bashing them and saying that they don't know what they're doing, because that's not what I'm pointing out. What I'm pointing out is just because they've chosen AVAX doesn't mean it's going to be an automatic 5x in the bull run. Okay, some people are calling for $300 on AVAX. That's a 10x from where we are today. You've got to be careful. It is going to pump in the short term. If it gets adoption, good morning in the know. If it gets adoption, if people really like the idea of AVAX and buy into the Grayscale Trust, then of course the additional buying pressure is going to push the price up. But just be careful. Like I said, Decentraland, Chainlink, I agree with. Bitcoin Cash, no. Basic Attention Token, absolutely not. Now, we could probably look at the graph of this just to give you an idea. Performance. So this token, if we go back to the start, had you invested in this token 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, you'd have got it for $4.90. 3 years ago. That token today is worth, is it $6? Let's have a look. Let's go and have a look. $6, okay? So, holding this token for 3 years, I think it's $4.90, yeah, $5. So you will have made 20% in that period of time, okay? Be careful, right? These tokens, yes, will do well in a bull run, but it's not an automatic win to just follow Grayscale, okay? It will do well, yes. I'm sure if you went and put $100 into every single one of their trusts, you will come out with maybe $300, $400, $500 each in a year and a half's time. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, it's not like, oh, Grayscale, AVAX $300, me buy AVAX. That's what I'm saying. Just be careful. What's with Bitcoin? Is it moving? Are we shooting up? 61.16, 61.24. It's not moved. I don't know what you mean. What's with Bitcoin? I've already covered Bitcoin and done the Bitcoin chart. If something's happening with Bitcoin, let me know. So then, let's go very quickly through this. We do not have a ton of time. Grayscale Investments, the world's largest crypto asset management, has officially launched the Avalanche Trust, AVAX as it is commonly known. It sparked interest, leading to a notable price surge and heightened trading activity. Why is everyone so excited? Well, basically, the launch of Grayscale Avalanche Trust highlights Grayscale's ongoing commitment to providing investors with innovative opportunities to access exciting developments in the crypto ecosystem. So, what are we up? We're going to have a look at the chart in a minute. So, the price prediction, there's a nice little line. Let me go and have a look at that myself and see where we are. And again, for full disclosure, I don't even know how much I hold. $400 or $500 of AVAX. Don't even know what I paid for it. But I don't think I mentioned it in my portfolio video that I made a few weeks ago because I don't really hold that much of it. So as always, you should zoom out when you look at any of these tokens. Okay. When you look at AVAX, remember. Actually, you know what? It's an old coin. Let's go to the weekly. And let's turn this off. There we go. Right, okay. So, AVAX is at the same price it was in 2022, and it's at the resistance price, just above the resistance price it was in 2021. So, it spent the majority of its time in this range down here, which is between about $10 and about $20. And every time it has broken out, it has come down. It's broken up, it's come down. It's broken up, it's come down, and now it's moving up a little bit, okay? So it spends a lot of time down there, and that's not specific to AVAX. Lots of coins do that, it depends on the market cycle. My target that I must have drawn a while back is $60. We're at $26. What do we have to do for AVAX to get us really excited? Because I think this could be a news-based pump. We've got to break above, so if we move this line now, we've got to break above $29.30. And at the top of that line there is $30. So basically we've got to break $30. And if you look, very similar to quite a lot of different charts we've looked at, it hasn't. So what we could do is probably come up to this and continue straight down again. So again, I don't think this is a coin to be buying at this stage unless you really like it. What I mean by that is, if you want to buy this coin for the bull run, it's still a good price. That's what I'm saying. If you want to buy this coin because you suddenly think it's going to go to $300, you're going to be sadly mistaken, because I don't think it is. Okay, so if you like AVAX, and I do like AVAX, but I don't hold a lot of it. I don't know what I've got, 20 AVAX, 15, something like that. The kill zone is the red zone, and we're still in it, and we'll still be in it until we get to $35. So it's still at a good price. It's been as low as 20, but it's hanging around here. We've got to see a continued move. So what I would do, if we do this, okay, that is where I would buy. I'd buy it at about $35 because it's above the bull market support band. It's tested it and it's moving up. But why is AVAX going to move? Because Grayscale have opened it up as a trust. Well, it's got basic attention token, it's got Bitcoin Cash, it's got Litecoin. They haven't done exceptionally well, have they? So again, be careful, be careful. And I am going to have a conversation about Raoul Pal at the end, because I think he's been lambasted a little bit too much for my liking. I don't agree with the way people have been talking about Raoul Pal over the last few days since he came out with his announcement, because what he said was logical. Now then, we're going to move on very quickly. Polygon. How long do we have left? We've got 12 minutes left. So Matic is at a 60-day high. It's gone up 28%. There's bullish momentum behind it. I have said, and you can quote me, I don't know why the price has been suppressed for so long. And we're going to go and have a look at the price in a minute. So we've gone up 28%. I've told you, I think it's September the 4th, we're swapping from Matic to Pol. Why is that such a big deal? Because Pol is going to become the token that powers their ecosystem as a gas fee. Okay, Matic's at 52 cents. We're going to talk about that. Does it mention anything down here about why it's done this? Or should we just whip on? Let's just go and have a look at the price. If it's not got anything about it. No, it hasn't. Okay. So Matic, I'm going to explain why I am fairly bullish on Matic. But again, you should always treat alts with a level of care. If I say to you, I really love I don't know, pick a coin, TON, okay? TON, if you like it, should be part of your portfolio. But how much of your portfolio? We've made portfolio videos in the past. 60% of your portfolio, in my opinion, should be Bitcoin and Ethereum, and now maybe Solana. The rest of it, say 40%, should be in 10 to 15 different tokens. So if you work out 40% divided by 15 is what? Let's call it 2.5%. So if you're going to allocate to 15 coins, you should put 2%, 2.2% into each of those coins. So if you have $1,000 in your portfolio, $25 should be in TON. That's when I say you should have it in your portfolio, in my opinion, I'm talking about a 2.5% allocation, not buying 50% of your portfolio in that token. Now then, again, very similar to AVAX, we've got bullish news. Hooray. Okay, but we're not out the woods. Okay, and certainly this price is not to write home about. Okay, if you look back here, this red fib level was support in August last year. That's when Bitcoin, remember, was at $15,000, $20,000. And it was holding this line of support, which is about 51 cents. Where are we now? We're at 53 cents. We came so far below the fib levels, we were actually putting in all-time lows, 33 cents. So we're back. We're back to where we were. I'm not getting excited by this move, okay? It's a good move, and it's been needed, and I think we need to understand that when coins are not in the public eye, they will fall off because they haven't got the social momentum behind them. Again, exactly the same as AVAX. Okay, we've got to get back to 60 cents. Okay, and it's pretty much 60 cents for all of them because the bull market support band has fallen off the edge of a cliff and we're coming down here. So we've got to get back above 60 cents. If we get back above it and we do this, then again, I would be looking to buy at this 60, maybe 65 cents. I mean, you could front run it. 53 cents is really cheap. Again, for me, even though I am bullish on Matic, it hasn't, you know, it's been constantly coming down. And I'm sure we could probably draw some kind of trend line. Everything that boy does makes it impossible for me to see anything I want to do. There we go, bright yellow lines. Again, we've been doing that since April, okay? And yes, this is massively bullish. We've broken out, okay? So yeah, great news. But let's hold 52 cents and move up, because again, short-term news does not lead to long-term gains. It can very quickly just do this, okay, and come straight back down. So I'm very bullish on Matic. It's still in a good price to buy. Don't buy it thinking it's going to rip to the upside today or tomorrow. It could very well move up 60, 70, 80 cents. And then on September the 4th, when poll goes live, it dumps. Buy the rumour, sell the news. That is very likely to happen with Matic. Now then, 7 minutes to get through 2 articles. Easy. India to release crypto consultation paper by October. Why is India so important? Because India will become a massive part of crypto. We've just been talking about Polygon. As far as I'm aware, they are based in India. India is never given the headlines by the press. It's never talked about in the press. India has, 1 billion people, okay? The banks are very restrictive on how you can interact with crypto. The banks are pretty much government controlled as far as I am aware. And I am not saying that is a negative or a positive. I'm just stating what I believe to be facts. So this consultation paper on crypto by the Indian government is hopefully going to finally give us some kind of clarity on what they want to do. And the reason is, the Indian government have banned, unbanned crypto over the last 3 or 4 years, especially. And it's not really helped India's adoption of crypto. In fact, when there was a recent conversation about dropping the US dollar and switching to the blockchain, if you remember, we covered that. India voted against that. So did they vote against it because they don't want to use blockchain technology? Why don't they want to use blockchain technology? Why do they not want clarity on what they are offering? Is there a reason they don't want to carry out their transactions on a public blockchain? Okay, I don't know. I'm just asking the question. So, Nirmala mentioned in October 2023 that while there is a global understanding of what needs to happen, each country, including India, will have to figure out its specific rules. Is that Modi? Yeah. India will need to come up with its own strategies to deal with the unique challenges and opportunities that crypto presents. Now, India is very forward-thinking in terms of its education of its population. You know, there's a lot of computer programming, computer customer support, all of that kind of thing, graphic design. I am contacted 20 times a week by Indian teams, so they are clearly ahead or at the same speed as everybody else when it comes to technology. So why this blockage on crypto? So the country banned 9 offshore crypto platforms for violating the prevention of money laundering, though they managed to bounce back in December. Prime Minister Modi has called for a global framework to manage crypto, stressing we need to get it right before things get out of hand. That was 3 years ago. He's been pushing for nations to work together to make sure crypto is used for good, not shady transactions. And again, this is what annoys me a little bit, okay? There is a very fine line between control and stopping and stopping the tornado caches of this world. In the EU and in the world, you can block bank transfers. You can stop them from happening. That all happens on a private blockchain or a private ledger, sorry. We don't see what happens. We don't see where money flows. So that's a good thing for governments because they can control their money and they can stop other people from seeing what they're doing with it. The problem with blockchain technology is that you can, if it's carried out in Bitcoin or Monero or something like that, you can't stop those transactions. There's a huge issue there. And I am somewhat on the side of governments when this is concerned. I don't want Tornado Cash. If crypto has to, if we want crypto to succeed, I think the sacrifice we have to make is privacy coins and Tornado Cash. And again, loads of people will not agree with me, and that's fine, okay? But there has to be a middle ground. For me, not having a government controlling how you send Bitcoin is a win over having privacy coins and Tornado Cash. And I've said this before. What this shows, though, is they still don't fundamentally understand how crypto works. Shady transactions can all be seen on the blockchain. People who steal funds will eventually be traced and put in prison. You can't get away from it forever. AI is going to make crypto a lot more secure because it's going to be able to analyze transactions and blockchains a lot better than humans can, and it will identify winners and losers. And somebody will make a mistake. Two groups of people have been arrested in the last 24 hours for doing it, and people like Zach, they catch people all the time. So we've got to educate people to the fact that you can't get away with what you think you can get away with in crypto. So Modi's also big on using tech to improving lives, which is why his government rolled out the Unified Payment Interface. It's one of the reasons digital payments have taken off even in rural parts of India. And again, I don't know a lot about Modi. I don't know whether people like him. I don't know whether people don't like him. But I just want to see clarity. Again, regulation and adoption and interoperability. They're the three things that we want in crypto, don't we? We want adoption, we want people to use it, but we also want regulation. Regulation stops crypto exchanges from getting away with unscrupulous things, and it stops unscrupulous players from acting. So we want regulation, but we want adoption. And of course, the third one that we've added this year is interoperability. We want the chains to work together. Now, finally, Magic Eden announced his native ME token. The marketplace is beginning the rollout of its long-awaited token. You can, and the reason I'm telling you this, is you can go and get a Magic Eden wallet. And as far as I'm aware, you will be able to claim some of the tokens. So the tokenomics and airdrop date yet to be revealed. So go and get yourself a Magic Eden wallet. I will put a link to it into our Telegram group. Go and get a Magic Eden wallet. See if you can claim some of these tokens for free. That's the only thing I'm going to say about this article. And I want to finish it now. Well, not finish it now. I want to move on very quickly to just mention what Raoul Pal has said. And this is my final thought, because how do we spell his name? Is it this? Here we go. Now, I'm not gonna play this. It's not relevant, but I'm just gonna give you a comment on it. Raoul Pal states, avoid old coins like XRP and ADA. Okay. His statements about avoiding older coins suggest a belief that these projects have lost their values, basically. Now, again, I don't know him. I've never met him. I've never talked to him. We are probably way below the level of channel that he would ever speak to. But I'm going to defend him. And the reason I'm going to defend him is that ADA, in particular, is a cult. C-U-L-T. It's a cult. They have spent the last 3 or 4 weeks making videos about Solana and bashing Ethereum and bashing everybody around them. And I've said it a few times before. I've said it this week, in fact. The problem is, if you're going to open a business or a restaurant or a bar or a coffee shop, you put all of your energy into making it the best coffee shop and business you can. And you advertise it in the press, you put posters up, you put signs outside your shop, and you focus on growing your business. And for 2-3 years, that's what you do solidly until it's a success or it fails. In crypto, these cults are not focusing on their own community and making content for their own community and talking about their own meme coins and their own DeFi and everything else. They're making videos about other chains. Now just think about that for a second. You open a sandwich shop called Dave's, okay? Would you put a sign outside your shop that says, don't go to Terry's sandwich shop, the sandwiches are crap, come to ours? Would you put an advert in the press saying, come to Dave's because Terry's got crap sandwiches? No, you wouldn't even think about it. But for some reason in crypto, you have these cults. Now, I don't see that many people bashing ADA. I don't see that many people bashing Solana outside of the ADA holders, or even bashing Ethereum. The people in Solana are too busy getting on being Solana to worry about everybody else. So when Raoul Pal says this, it's a little bit like me saying, I like apples, and then everybody kicking off that I didn't mention oranges. Oh my God, Mike doesn't like oranges, and I bet he hates pears. No, I said I liked apples. What Raoul Pal said, and I've watched it, he said, don't be drawn into the older coins. They are like a cult. Make sure you don't go into this bull run holding the old coins, okay? And as I said to you before, you should have maybe 10 to 15 coins, plus Bitcoin, plus Ethereum, maybe Solana as well. And if you don't like Solana, that's fine. Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then 10 to 15 other coins that you like. Don't go into this bull run with 50% of your portfolio in ADA or XRP or Solana or AVAX or any one coin, okay? That's the message he's getting across, because he's right. ADA can very well do a 10x from where it is now. XRP can do a 10x from where it is now. But if you go a little bit further outside of the older coins into some of the newer coins, there are some coins that can do 20 and 30x's still. AVAX could very well go and do a 5 or a 6x and do incredibly well. And like I said, in the bull run, it could do a 10x. It's not going to do a 10x now. So I understand where he's coming from. And people, yet again, have taken him out of context and bash him. And again, he's no angel. Nobody on the internet is an angel. He hyped up Luna before it crashed, saying it was free money. So he's no angel. But if you listen to what he has to say and make your own decision on it, you won't be swayed when other people try and push you around and make you believe that their altcoin is the best. Now, this was shared by Charles, okay? And he made a funny comment about it. Of course he will. When are we going to go to the secret cult meetings? I never got the memo, Raoul, and that was to Brad Garlinghouse. Now, again, Charles has as much mud thrown at him as people want, but it's all nonsense. So, again, Charles has got a solid project. Brad Garlinghouse has got a solid project. But they're not the only projects, okay? You can win in this race if you back 8 or 10 horses. So don't back one. By backing 8 to 10 solid projects, you have a better chance of collectively making 500 to 1,000% in this bull run. If Bitcoin from here does a 2x, Ethereum does a 4x, Solana does a 5x, the coins underneath will start to do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12x's. So just be careful. When people say stuff like that to you, make sure you read behind the lines. And I see it in everyday press. You see Keir Starmer or Trump or Kamala Harris, and you will see one sentence published somewhere to make you incensed, make you angry. Listen to what they've got to say. That goes for Kamala Harris, it goes for Donald Trump, it goes for Raoul Pal, it goes for Charles Hoskinson, because they always get taken out of context, and it is not fair. Raoul Pal is a super intelligent man, okay? He is what I would aspire to be to in terms of level of intelligence about economics, about stocks and shares and money flows. He's super bright, okay? Don't reduce him to a stupid sentence. I just feel like you're being done a disservice because you're in a cult. He said so much more than that. But get the headline, and that's all that people care about. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. Now, I am going to make a video today about dogs. Thank you all for coming. It's been a pleasure as always. I will see you all on Monday. I will make some videos this weekend to keep you all entertained. Have a great weekend. Solo Sky, In the Know, Tariq, Chris, everybody else that's in chat. Have a great weekend. And don't forget, very importantly, next Wednesday, the Mew giveaway. Next Wednesday, 7 o'clock Central European Time, 6 o'clock in the UK, and 5 UTC. Have a great one.